Student Ministry Christmas Party. I mean, it is the preeminent event of the year. You play dozens of games, you eat even more sweets, and you serve hot chocolate. Maybe you play a Christmas movie. What if I told you that I had the event that was going to make your Christmas party absolutely pop? Well, here it is. It is the ultimate Christmas movie Showdown. And in this video, I want to share with you the ways that I use and incorporate this style of event, along with all of the other ways that if you don't want to use it for your party, or it's a little bit too late to lead in to your party, that you can use this style of resource. If you scrub ahead, I am going to go ahead and offer this resource to you, so you can go ahead and check that out. If you're watching here on screen, you can see that timestamp. If not, just hit the link down below in the show notes, or head to hybridministry.xyz/127. But we are going to talk Christmas party, we're going to talk outreach, and we're going to talk social media. And this event has all of those, and this product has all those wrapped into one single thing. If you're anything like me, I'm sure you have multiple layers of responsibilities. I'm sure you have multiple meetings and things you have to do. You got to come up with games and lessons and manage parents and volunteers and senior pastors, and oh yeah, social media, and oh yeah, the Christmas event, and oh yeah, and oh yeah, and oh yeah, and oh yeah. But in this event guide, you will have the ability to crush social media, outreach, and your Christmas party all in one foul swoop. It is going to be amazing. So let's dive in and let's look at this together. But as always, if you're watching here on YouTube, don't forget that there are chapters included down below at the bottom. 'Tis the season. Let's hop in. So in this video, we are going to explore the resource that I have is for sale. You can go check it out. Again, link down below in the description. It is a bracket or voting style event. And in this particular one, it is the ultimate Christmas movie Showdown. Now, several years ago, linked right here at the top of the YouTube video, I did the ultimate event guide to the world's greatest donut. That in that video, you can download my event guide. It's complete with a shopping list and all those types of things. And it also sends you to download youth ministry, where you can buy this voting style event. But this has been something that has been a staple of my ministry and a staple of honestly what I've done for years. And essentially, I'm borrowing from the wave or the popularity of a March Madness bracket style voting. And so in our space, we have this big window that opens into a small sort of half court indoor gymnasium sort of deal. And we printed a custom sized vinyl banner for a 16 team bracket. And then we put those things, we just, print them out on computer paper or whatever, cut them out. And we do these style events 2 or 3 times throughout the year. So like I said in that video linked just a second ago, we have done the world's greatest donut. We have voted on the best. We did Starch Madness one year. We have voted on the world's best mascot, and then that mascot became our official student ministry mascot. Shout out to Pugsley the platypus. We've done all sorts of different voting and challenge based style things. It's just a fun way to sort of create competition and conversation around something for several weeks in a row. And in this particular instance, we're doing the ultimate Christmas movie Showdown. Now, by the time that this video drops, you're more than likely at your Christmas party, or even slightly beyond your Christmas party. But if you have not made it yet to your Christmas party, then what you can do, and this is what we did a Christmas movie watch party, but we're allowing the students to vote on the Christmas movie. And so that's what's really cool is we actually, at our costume party on the 30th of October, we revealed that the Christmas bracket was now live, and then the students could vote on it. And the best thing about this is, again, if this is already passed, your party's already passed, you can do something like this just very simply on social media during sort of the holiday lull. You can do every week is a new round, or you can do every day is a new round. And that's the thing, so even if you download this now and then you go and you play a movie at your Christmas event next week, you can do every day on social media as a round. And there's all sorts of different ways to capture your students' opinions. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to open this resource up. And if you open it, unzip the file, you're going to see several different folders. The first thing is a title graphic, a how to play worksheet, and a how to play video. That video is going to be very similar to this video. So, you probably don't need to do that. There's also a couple of folders that have editable graphics. Okay, so if you don't have access to something like, say, Photoshop, you can download the PowerPoint template. And in the PowerPoint template, it's just the blank bracket. So the 16 movies included in the Ultimate Christmas Movie Showdown is Elf, White Christmas. Elf faces off against White Christmas. That's the 1 seed versus the 16. They're not listed there, but and once the students start voting, you can tell who the overall 1 seed is. Then in the 8-9 matchup, we have Frosty the Snowman versus The Year Without a Santa Claus. Then in the 4-13 matchup, we have Christmas Vacation pairing off against Christmas with the Cranks. Muppet Christmas Carol versus Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Home Alone, which is the 2 seed versus It's a Wonderful Life. A Christmas Story, which is a 7 versus Polar Express, which is a 10. The Santa Claus, which is a 3 versus Jingle All the Way, which is like a 14, I think. And then Santa Claus is Coming to Town versus How the Grinch Stole Christmas in the 6 versus, I think, 11 matchup there. And so this PowerPoint file, you can very simply edit the winners, right? So if Elf beats White Christmas in the voting, you can move it ahead and you can use that in your space to write these in. So I have the winners sort of as like placeholders in there that you can make sure that you can move them on. But here's the thing. Every single round and every single context is going to be different. Maybe you are a big White Christmas church and all of your students are going to pick White Christmas. That's great. Then go with it. Go for it, okay? Additionally, you can use this, like I said, on social media. So a couple of my favorite ways to do it are on Instagram stories, and also now for Generation Alpha, who is widely adopting YouTube as one of their platforms of choice. You can post on your YouTube posts page section a voting poll option with images and stuff like that. And so I've included some social graphics that are still, and so it's your title, it's your overall bracket. You can write in the winners each round, and then round 1 graphic, an Elite 8 graphic, a Final 4 graphic, and a championship round graphic. And then you'll just very simply stick the question sticker on that graphic. I also have social media videos, which pair and look similar to the widescreen video. So there's a title graphic with, some kind of like distant sleigh bells chime and like some Christmas like chimey things, and then like a round 1 graphic, a Elite 8 graphic, a Final 4. All these are videos and championship. And then there are profile cards. And so these are really fun. Every single movie, there's 16 movies. Every single movie has 4 different profile cards, both for social media and for your widescreen in your room. And so, for example, in round 1, you might put up the Elf profile card, the very first Elf profile card versus and next to the very first White Christmas profile card. So like right here, if you're watching on screen, you'll see it says like Elf, released in 2003, Will Ferrell shines as Buddy, a human raised as an elf who travels to New York to meet his real father. But like I said, there are 4 different profile cards because in the next round, if Elf advances, you would use the second fact. So you're not just sharing the same fact every single week in, week out. So this next one's about who Jon Favreau, who helped the movie gross over $220 million worldwide on a $33 million budget, became a Christmas favorite. The third one's about Will Ferrell's improv skills, and the fourth one's a fun fact that his iconic walk through New York was done candidly, and it was capturing real reactions from New Yorkers. Now, you're like, okay, that's great, but what if White Christmas wins? That's why there's 4 for White Christmas. Now, if White Christmas loses, you're obviously not going to be using fact 2, fact 3, or fact 4, right? But in the event that upsets happen, in the event that that movies keep moving on, there are 4, because there's 4 rounds, round 1, Elite 8, Final 4, and then championship round for you to share those graphics, okay? And so we have that for social media, for still graphics. We have social video graphics. We also have widescreen graphics that you can use and put in your space, along with those profile card kind of things that you can also put in your space, video as well as stills. And then there's paper voting as an option. So we'll get to the ways that you can do voting here in just a minute. There's Photoshop files if you do happen to have Photoshop editing skills. And then finally, there are some just like transparent, no background assets like the logo and the round 1, Elite 8, all that type of stuff. So all of that is included in this download, just a few bucks. And like I said, how can you go about voting? Well, if you have access to Sidekick, which if you don't, or you've never signed up for Co-Leader, which is Download Youth Ministries curriculum, you can get that by being a listener of my podcast, Hybrid Ministry 10, as a discount code, and you get 10% off your purchase of either Premium or Premium Plus. But if you're using Sidekick, you can use the phone connections and the voting option, and students can vote live right there directly in the room. And so you can do all of your matchups right there, and you can do that week in, week out. Now, what do you do about students who don't have phones? Well, that's one of the reasons why I included the paper printable bracket, so that those students aren't left out and so that they have an opportunity to also let their voice be heard. Well, you might be thinking, well, what happens if my Christmas party has already passed, or I don't have a way to get this done in the amount of weeks we have leading up to our Christmas party? No problem. Download this and just post them on social media. And then when people show up to your Christmas party, you'll be like, hey, we're watching How the Grinch Stole Christmas because it was voted on by you, the people on social media. Congratulations to the Grinch. And so you could do this in just 4 days, round 1, Elite 8, Final 4, and then the championship, and then you have your event. So if your Christmas party is in 7 days, you can theoretically crush this and get this in any time of year. If you want to launch it, depending on when you're watching this, if you have enough time, you can launch it all through the month of December leading into your movie, or like I said, you can do it all on social using either Instagram voting or the YouTube post. Now, here's the good news about that is when you promote it in the room, like, hey, voting is live, one of the things I've done, I'll show you a graphic of what we're using. It's not included in the download because it's custom to us, but just to give you an idea, I just linked a QR code to our link tree, which has all of our different social handles. And so it says, hey, voting is still live, and the winning movie will get watched at our Christmas party on December 4th or whatever. I've sent that out in our text list. We've sent it out to our parent email list, and I have seen 25 or more subscribers since we launched this on our YouTube channel until now. So it's a great way to, again, just get students, like, let their voices be heard. It's just something fun, innocent, but also they're getting an opportunity to kind of dictate the event and what is going to be included. And then here's the cool thing. In this month, we are going to then be teaching from the winning movie 3 different lessons, and we're going to be doing like a quote kind of Christmas at the movies sort of thing. And I'm actually going to be talking about that over on my Patreon. If you didn't know, we just launched a Patreon, and it is going to be walking through my weekly lessons, and it's a different bonus podcast every single week. It's $4 per month, and you get a different bonus podcast per week. So essentially it nets out to $1 or even slightly less than $1 per podcast episode. I think it's a very modest amount. I would love to encourage you to go over there and check it out. I think you can probably find $4 a month in your budget. But even if you can't, I just want to let you know that, like, we're going to use that to invest deeper into the podcast gear and all sorts of things like that. And so I'd love to encourage you to go check that out. But we're going to be walking through these lessons, and this is what we're going to be talking about over on that Patreon is what are the Christmas at the movie lessons, and then we're also doing, like, we're avoiding the big announcement time before we break into small groups. And so our students are going to go into our sort of like small group rooms directly at the end of the countdown, and each of our rooms has a TV on a cart, which is brand new. And so we're going to link that to a YouTube playlist, and there's going to be a small group activity. There's going to be an announcement corner filmed and put there on that playlist, and then the teaching, where we may teach a little bit, pause for questions, teach a little bit, pause for questions, teach a little bit, pause for some more questions. So we're really trying to lean in sort of to that kind of hybrid thing. And I'm going to detail and explain all of that, what we're doing over on that Patreon. So I would love to have you go check that out. There's also some other kind of bonus perks and stuff like that. And as I'm describing this, you might be hearing me talking about YouTube, and all of our lessons, regardless of if it's these or others, are always being posted to YouTube, because I think it's important to put spiritual and evergreen content over there on YouTube for our students. Generation Alpha is now saying that YouTube is now their preferred search engine, even over Google. And so there's value to that. And I actually offer either some custom coaching to help you level it up, or communications done for you, where I'll actually just do it for you. If that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and check the show notes or the link down below in the YouTube description. But linked right here on screen is my complete and full strategy of how we launched and developed a YouTube for youth ministry. It's the free version of that coaching, and then the coaching will take you sort of into that more customization. But I hope that you grab this product. I hope you have an amazing Christmas event. I hope you can use it to knock outreach out of the park, to have an amazing event, and also crush social media, whether you're using it for the event or just during the lull of the holiday season. Don't forget, my friends, and as always, to stay hybrid.